the western suburbs. I know it's a mouthful, particularly after 2 glasses of wine. Our first meeting of 2009. So thank you for coming. I think one of the first things we want to say is thank you very much to Sheila and the folks at care.com for hosting this. Thank you very much. What we wanted to do with the Mount Holyoke Club of the Western Suburbs was really host events that were fun, so cookie swaps, book clubs, but also events and discussions that would help advance ourselves, either at home or in the workplace. So we came up with this idea of women and finance, and it's more than a 7-letter word, finance. It's something, it challenges us at home. As Time magazine says, has anyone read this issue? It's fallen in the bathtub a few times. As you can see, the state of the American woman, you've got to get this. Fascinating study comparing stats from the 70s and now in women at home and in the workplace. But they're talking about the power of the purse. And anything that I cite, any source that I cite is from this. So I'm going to excuse myself. Just as a backdrop to the theme of women in finance, and before I introduce the panelists, I want to share some stats with you. 3.3 million women in married couples are the primary breadwinners or sole providers of an American household. So that's 40% of women. That's pretty remarkable, providing essential income. Secondly, now this is also interesting. With that powerful stat, it's 32% women are more likely to have taken out subprime mortgages than men. Isn't that interesting? Now, just as a sidebar, so Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, AIG, CIT, were any of them, did you hear any women's names behind any of that, bringing those down? No. Interesting, isn't it? And they expect that women, as opposed to men, will emerge in a stronger fashion from this downturn than men will. 65% of women are the family's chief financial planner. For all of you sitting in this audience, is that the case with you? Would you say that you are your family's chief financial planner? And then similarly, 71% of women act as the family accountant. Again, this is what, of course, we've always known this, but now that the consumer marketeers are coming around to it, women make 75% of the buying decisions in American homes. So now more than ever, and this is what really startled me, American women control more wealth than ever in history. So whether we accept it or it makes us anxious, we do have control or interface with finance in our lives, at home or at work. And that brings us to where we are, tonight with this panelist and these 3 very accomplished women who bring to the table certain experiences to share with us. And the theme is each speaker is going to speak for 20 minutes. It's very informal, so ask questions while they're speaking, or we'll wait after and have Q&A. But in order of appearance, we have Geraldine Hummel, who's in the middle, who has been specializing in developing financial plans for women, and in particular women in finance, for over 15 years. So I think not only as a professional career, probably where you've been the only woman in this field dominated by men, but that you're servicing women in an area that needs a lot of education. And then we have all the way from New York City.
Because Andrea is very persuasive.
I graduated from Mount Holyoke too, class of 1984 too. Casey Moore is a remarkable woman, representing both the right and left brain skill set, combining love of art and culture and history with finance and with stints in government, education, the arts, and now as CFO of the Andy Warhol Foundation. She's going to talk about her experience again as a woman in business, in finance, but also in the arts and in philanthropy. And then finally we have Sheila Marcello, who has, again, a very incredible career in leadership positions, in internet-driven companies, and Sheila has sat at both sides of the table, either raising funds for the current company or as an entrepreneur in residence at Matrix Partner. So being on both sides of the table and dealing with the finance in running a business and also getting funds to run a business. So I think we're going to have three very different stories, but hopefully similar takeaways on what you need to feel successful in when you're dealing with finance. So thank you all.